Hey guys, Urban Has Dreams here with a new video, and before you wonder, wait, there's no net protector, didn't he just make a video with the net protector? Yes, I'm doing two videos at once, and this video is coming out after the net protector video, but this video is about the Cusco Tower Bar. I love it. It definitely improves the car's handling a little bit, not too crazy, but the biggest thing is that it removes rattles inside the cabin because you're tightening up the chassis. But I'm trying to do an OEM Plus build, so I got the STI Tower Bar, which I will be installing, and it will be interesting to see how if there's a difference, and if the ride quality is better, and if the creaks come back with the STI Tower Bar or not. We will see. I have it here. I'm gonna remove the Cusco, and then we're gonna have fun installing that. And then there's the Zero Sports intercooler from the video that you guys technically saw last. Just remove the Cusco Tower Bar. The nuts are 12 mil, and this is just an example of why I always like tower bars in cars. Without it, it just always seems like there's something missing. I always find that aesthetically, a tower bar always just kind of complements the engine bay. So yeah, I'm gonna do a test drive, see how it is without it, to remind myself, and then I'll do the tower bar and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I'm back with my little test, and I had to drop off my kid and my wife somewhere, so it was a good opportunity to get her feedback on it. And by removing the tower bar, what we both noticed is that the ride comfort actually improves a lot. It's funny because when I installed the Cusco Tower Bar, I didn't actually feel such a difference in ride comfort. Like, it felt stiffer, but I don't know, it didn't seem as major, but we went over like bumps, specifically potholes and stuff, and it's way softer. Like, it feels like it's my Mazda 6 or something. Way softer. So, and when you're going like back and forth like this with the steering wheel, it feels more like a boat. Like, if my wife was like, it feels very boaty, and I noticed that too. It feels like you're like wobbling all over the place in the car. So definitely the tower bar does help. But with the Cusco, it helps with the sharpness of the handling, but you suffer in ride quality. So when it's a smooth road, there's like no difference. But when you're hitting bumps, you can feel it in the cabin more. And also, originally when I put the tower bar, it removed creaks and rattles from my cabin, but I removed it and there's no creaks and rattles in the cabin. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe that isn't the tower bar's work. Now keep in mind, I also have a Cusco rear tower bar in the back, which it's still on the car. It's still kind of being played around there. I'm not removing that until I do the STI flexible rear tower bar and whatever. But or it's not a rear tower bar, they call it like just like the flexible rear bar or something. So let's go get to install the STI tower bar. I'm gonna install it, and then I'll do some videos, and then we'll see how that one is. I'm gonna point out, when we're installing the STI tower bar, you have to use new nuts. I have no idea why, because they look the exact same as the other ones, but I don't know. The manual says that you have to reuse them, or use the new ones, so sure, using the new ones. So here it is in place. I haven't tightened the nuts yet because I just want to point something out. So when you're installing tower bars, and this one, when you start tightening the nuts, so everything's hand tightened, when you start doing the full tightness or torquing, you do those two in the back first, and then you always do this one last. I don't have a torque gun or torque wrench to get the exact correct torque. I know I can just go to my mechanic and he can just adjust it after, but usually I just do it my way, and I've never had issues with all my life of driving cars. So yeah, this is kind of what it looks like, and let me tighten it out and then we'll come back to it. By the way, I'm gonna be skipping, I skipped two steps actually. I skipped this step. This is basically just these nuts. You loosen them up so you can adjust this better. If the bar, you can't make it fit. Luckily the bar can still get put in place without having to do that, so I don't have to worry about that, or I don't have to re-torque it. And then there's this thing here. I think this is the piece right there, this one right here. I think it's that I think they say to like disconnect it, and then you can zip tie it, because they give me a zip tie with the nuts this. So I think you can like zip tie it to the tower bar, but I don't really see the point. Just so much hassle to do that because there's like barely any room here to work. I think maybe they do it just so that the bar doesn't get scratched, but I mean, who really cares? Like nobody's ever gonna see behind the bar. So yeah, I'm skipping that stage. So I just wanted to point that out for anybody else when they're installing this. And yeah, I'm gonna go and tighten everything up now. All right, so I've just did the nuts, did the two back tight, and then the front, that side, front, and then complete kind of like my torquing, whatever, and then the back and the front. So yeah, here it is. It's in place. It looks good. I don't know, should I put like rap music on now and be like, yo, rep my gang like they do in the other channels? Probably not. We're gonna keep it music free. So anyways, actually I have music in the background in this video, but it's not rap music. So this is what it looks like. It looks nice. I think visually, I still think the Cusco looks cooler because of the matching blue, but this is dope because it's OEM and it's gonna be cool once we do the test. But before I do the test, I'm gonna install the net protector back. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it flexes. Look at that nice flexy. And when installing this, you kind of have to just kind of lift this up a little bit to kind of get it in there because it's a bit tight. I don't know if the Japanese cars have that. I think they do, but I don't know. Anyways, let's go put the net back on. All right, so we got the STI tower bar installed, and this is what it looks like. Looks very nice. Now, one thing that's cool I've never noticed before is how it sits like that. There's actually a gap. Now, I mean, there's not actually a gap because the parts where the actual nut connects is touching the metal, but I guess they do it not to scratch the undercarriage of that or something. I don't know, but it looks great. I'm loving it. I'm loving the OEM look. And we're gonna go for a test drive now and see how it is. Really, to sum up the guard thing, there's a whole bunch of brands that make it. I like this one and the Cusco just because these holes seem like they have more space in between compared to other brands, but I don't know, sometimes it's hard to tell in pictures. Really, to say, the only bad thing about this one in particular that I can say is that because of these little parts here, you're kind of blocking some of the fins. So that's the only minus I can say, but other than that, I love it. I think it looks great, and I like it more, especially if you want to kind of stay more OEM. Oh, and as you can see, like, see this thing already here is making, so that's why, you know, it's gonna get a little bit banged up. But yeah, I suggest it, and like I said earlier in the video, yeah, you know, it blocks airflow, but you know, you're not on the racetrack, you're just driving it, and you know, if you want to have kind of an engine bay that looks kind of more appealing, I suggest it, because I've seen Subarus that, you know, like 10-15 years, and oh man, their intercoolers are just, everything's like band damaged, and it's like, well, at that point you're blocking airflow also, right? So anyways, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching. Right, so I just got back from another test drive. Had to go pick up my wife and kid, so pretty much I literally, as soon as I installed this, my wife called me to come pick her up. So it was perfect because she experienced it without the tower bar, and obviously with the Cusco for like all those months of having the Cusco. And driving back, and she definitely noticed, and I noticed too, ride comfort is way better. Even with this bar, like once this bar went on, like there's maybe it's like 20% stiffer, I don't know, but it's still super soft compared to what it was with the Cusco. It feels very comfortable. I took a really bumpy road on the way back, and she says like, wow, before like you could just feel everything so harshly, now everything is like, it just feels normal, and it's kind of more comfortable. So definitely this bar is awesome. Now I understand why you're paying the money. Now I understand why it's expensive and why, you know, the engineering. So I'm definitely doing all the STI flexible parts in the catalog. It does not sacrifice ride comfort, but as soon as I start taking sharp turns or I'm kind of like playing around with the wheel, it feels like it's pretty much the same as with the Cusco. I will say though, I think compared to the Cusco, this is 90% and the Cusco is 100% in terms of the stiffness when you're cornering. But this, you know, it's a perfect balance of comfort and sportiness. And the other thing is too is that you're technically, when they designed this, it was just this, but the further they were engineering, you know, with the S207, S208 STIs, S209, and so on, with like their 24 Nürburgring races and everything, is that, you know, you're gonna combine this, like their idea is that you're gonna combine this with the draw stiffeners underneath the car, which are gonna complement each other, and it's gonna usually do a big difference, because the biggest piece that does the biggest difference is gonna be the draw stiffeners underneath. But then they also, you know, have now the rear rear flexible bar, which I'm gonna do, and then support kits and all this stuff. Anyways, if you guys are familiar with the STI, but I'm gonna do all that stuff, so we'll have more videos coming up in the future with those parts. But this is definitely awesome, and I still have the Cusco tower bar. I can actually feel, like, coming into the driveway, you can feel how the back is a bit more stiffer than the front. But I'm gonna remove the Cusco tower bar from the back, because to me that just makes no sense. You have a flexible part here, but then you have a stiff part at the back. So I'm gonna remove that, and probably start looking on when I want to do that, the draw stiffener in the rear bar. I'll see. I might do both at the same time, or I might just do one and then do the other one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But other than that, this is it. I highly suggest it. It is awesome. If you want to stay OEM, you don't have to have hassle with anything. This is an original part. You can buy this in North America. I personally bought it from Japan because it's cheaper for us Canadians to buy from Japan than at the dealer or from the States. So yeah, it's definitely nice, and I think the engine bay overall looks just great. And I will do a little bit of like STI goodies in the future, like the oil cap and battery tie. The battery tie is cool because it's going to match the tower bar, because they have a version now with this finishing, so it's going to be nice. But other than that, I'm really excited now to go forward with the other parts. And again, just this is why you're paying the money. Honestly, the engineering in this is patented. Nobody can copy this design. And I can only imagine once you start doing other things, and hence why I'm doing an OEM Plus build. When I say Plus, it's more towards that it's going to be just the STI Cadillac parts. But that's technically what an OEM Plus build is, in my opinion. Although some people start doing other stuff also. But I mean, for me, my aftermarket thing, it really is, like I said, like the Zero Sports. And I think the only really big other aftermarket thing will be the exhaust. I've been looking at so many exhaust options, and I think I'm just gonna go back to the Fujitsu single tip. It sounded the best, weight reduction, because the STI mufflers, I've talked to some guys with them, they all drone, and I don't want to deal with that. And there's a full STI exhaust kit that you can do that's kind of like the OEM design with a little bit more flow. I think it comes on the S207. But you know, it's like $2,000. It's ridiculously expensive, and then with shipping, it's like a $3,000 exhaust. That's crazy, and it's not even like stainless steel or anything. It's just, I really like the STI JDM mufflers, but like I said, they drone, and I hate drone. I just kind of just don't want to deal with that. It's very like boomy and everything, and the Fujitsu authorized S that I had, just the tips were boomy inside. They didn't have drone, but it was just like, it was very boomy, and it was louder than with the cap back single tip. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the single tip in the future, and yeah, that's basically it, because right now I'm running the stock exhaust, but for now I'm gonna work on the STI chassis parts. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and peace out.